Thank you for discussing the Integrated Field Review report with your colleagues. I hope you found this as rewarding as I did for us to be recognized for the great work we're doing across Washington Central. Now, as we are going to shift gears a bit and take a look at our implementation plan. As we go through the plan, please take notice to the connections between our mission, our student learning outcomes, our strategic objectives, and our strategies and timelines for completing the work. But before we review the plan, I would like to thank the school boards, the Washington Central leadership team, and the staff that have provided us feedback for their help in developing this plan. Together, we have created this plan to guide our work as a supervisory union to enhance systems that will support all students in achieving the student learning outcomes. So let's take a look at the plan. So you should all have the copy of the plan in front of you. And as we go along, you will hopefully see the connections between the mission and all the way down to our strategies and actions and timeline that we're putting in place to move forward this plan. For the past year, many of the professional development activities you've been involved with on Wednesdays have been aligned with this plan. 2 years ago, or more, the school boards across Washington Central were asked the question, what do you want students to know and be able to do when they receive a U32 diploma? And their response was this Washington Central Supervisory Union mission and the student learning outcomes. Washington Central Supervisory Union exists to nurture and inspire all students the passion, creativity, and power to contribute to their local and global communities. This was adopted by all the school boards across Washington Central a year ago this past May. At the same time, they distilled that mission further into 13 different proficiencies, which all students must show their learning in between their pre-K and graduation years in Washington Central. From that great work that the school boards did, the Washington Central leadership team developed a theory of action that states, if we provide high quality instruction and interventions that are responsive to learners' needs and interests, based on clear learning targets and measured by a comprehensive and balanced assessment system, then we'll be able to close the achievement gaps and ensure that all students achieve proficiency in our Washington Central's Supervisory Union student learning outcomes. When you look at that theory of action, you will see three strategic objectives: high quality instruction and interventions, clear learning targets, and a comprehensive and balanced assessment system. Another way to look at that might be this graphic here, where you can see that the theory of action is supported by three strategic objectives. And each of those strategic objectives are supported with a description of what it will look like when it's fully implemented, and strategies and timelines to help facilitate the full implementation of that strategic objective. So now we're going to review each of those objectives. And I'm going to have you refer to your booklet to see descriptions of the strategies, what it looks like when it's fully implemented, and timelines as well. The first strategic objective is clear learning targets found on page 10. And when this is fully implemented, it will look like all students will be able to explain to anyone what they are learning, why what they are learning is important, and how what they are learning connects to the student learning outcomes. You will see 6 strategies that are described on page 10. And then on page 11, you will see a timeline that looks similar to the graphic below that has check marks for when we're implementing the strategy and a wrench for we're maintaining that implementation level that preceded in the year before. The second strategic objective is a comprehensive and balanced assessment system. And we'll know this is fully implemented when we use multiple assessments and methods to ensure that students are progressing towards a mastery of student learning outcomes that are necessary for students to graduate. Using all the assessment data, and students will understand where they are on the learning continuum, where they need to go, and how they will get there. There are many strategies that support this, as you can see in the graphic below and on page 12, where they're described more fully. And again, on the timeline that's on page 13, you will see a check mark for where we're developing and implementing the strategy and a wrench for where we're maintaining those strategies. The third strategic objective is high quality instructions and interventions. This is described on page 14. This objective will be fully implemented when all students will achieve at least 1 year's growth each year, and students with gaps in their learning will achieve more than 1 year's growth. You will see 7 strategies that support the implementation of the strategic objective. And again, you will see descriptions of what those strategies are on page 14. And on page 15, you will see the timeline for implementing those. Again, a check mark is when we are developing and implementing that strategy, and a wrench is when we're maintaining the implementation level that we were at from the previous year. So I ask all of you, over the next 4 years, we will build on the work that we started in the past few years to create a supervisory union that ensures all of our students achieve proficiency in the student learning outcomes. I ask you to join me in asking, what can I do today, tomorrow, and next year to make this a reality? So once again, we're going to use the maitre d' protocol for a discussion about what you have seen in the implementation plan. Just as you did after the integrated field review report, we're going to ask you to group together with 3 or 4 other staff members that you weren't with previously and discuss the following 3 questions. What was intriguing to you in the implementation plan? What is concerning to you in the implementation plan? And what can you do today and next year to make this a reality for all students? As you're having this discussion, I'm going to ask the facilitators to pause the video right here so the questions remain on the screen throughout your discussion. I hope that all of you have found this as rewarding as I have to review these documents and to think about the great realities we can make for all students across Washington Central. Have a great day.